Dr. Guenson Charlot is the president of Emmaus University in Haiti, to be specific, Cap Haitian.
Yes.
And so, Guenson, what I was thinking is we can start this out by you telling us about your journey, even from boyhood, what brought you to being the president of Emmaus University.
Thank you, Dale. And my journey has been a very interesting one. I was born in a very remote place in Haiti, in the northern side of Haiti. And I'm the last child of 9 siblings. And where I was born until today, there is no form of vehicle that can get there. So some of the beautiful horses I see here would be very helpful for me to get by, to get to where I was.
So no motorcycle?
No motorcycle, no trucks, no, absolutely nothing can get there. Mm-hmm. Where I was born, and in Haiti, in a little town, very hilly town in Haiti called Le Boy. So from there, my entire family, my mom and my dad, they could not read or write anything, but they sent us to school. And I had to work 2 hours every day to go to school and 2 hours to go back home every day. So that was our routine from primary school. And after primary school, I went to secondary school in Cap Haitian, where I'm stationed right now.
So just real quick, so Haiti is typically thought of as a very impoverished area of the world, but even according to Haitian standards, where would your family have rated?
I would be poor, a very poor family.
Very poor family.
Way in the rural area where my dad did farming just to take care of the family, nothing to sell or anything like that, but just to keep us alive. But that was my life. And then I went to Cap Haitian for my high school. And after I'm done with high school, I could not go anywhere else for my education. So that is it. For many, many young people in Haiti after high school, the question is, what are we going to do? And I did not have many choices, and my parents could not send me to school. But I grew up in the church, and my mom and my dad, they were saved early enough so that I did not know a lot of the dramas that's happening in the voodoo world because I grew up in the church and I trusted God. He was the only one who could do something for me to go to school. So after high school, I prayed to God and I waited and trusting Him, and I spent 5 years trusting God to send me to school. And one day, when I was working as a volunteer for Campus Crusade for Christ, a missionary from here, from America, went down to Haiti and saw me working as a volunteer at Campus Crusade for Christ. And at the end of the day, he just looked at me and said, I see in you a good soil, and I want to sow some seed in your life. But before that, I had the confirmation from God that He was going to send me to school. And my dream was to study in English, because in Haiti we speak French and Haitian Creole. But there is more opportunity for people who know English. And so I wanted to study in English. And I spent the time when I was praying, I was studying English. After high school, actually, I started to learn English after high school and spend time. And when I was praying, and at the time, after 5 years, I heard the voice of the Lord telling me that, okay, I'm going to send you to school, but wherever I send you, I want you to return to Haiti to serve me in my kingdom. I said, okay, God, that's it. I heard your voice, and then wherever I go, I will return. But I didn't know how I was going to go and study. So I only had the dream of studying in English and traveling, but my brothers and my sisters, they were making fun of me because this is unheard of. We had no one to really to follow step, because actually after high school I'm the only person in my entire family that would go to Bible college and have a degree, college degree, and so on and so forth. So this guy came and saw me working at Campus Crusade for Christ, and then he said, well, I want to sow a seed in your life because I see in you a good soil. And then he paid for me to go to Jamaica, but I told him what the Lord told me in my journey with him, that I would always come back to Haiti to serve. And he was very happy about that because he wanted to do some ministry in Haiti. And I was going to go to Jamaica to spend 3 years. And then I would come back to my country to serve my people. And so he paid school for me, and I went to Jamaica. And there, at a very, very, very small Bible college, Caribbean Wesleyan College in Jamaica, and I met my wife. I met my wife, Claudia, and we have been married right now for 13 years. And when I was in Jamaica, there was another door that the Lord opened, another door for me to go to Canada. There was a partnership that was just about to form between my small school in Jamaica and a college in Canada. And they said, okay, send us the best of your student so they can get a degree from the school in Canada. Because what I was doing was just a 3-year diploma in theology, and I'll spend 1.5 years in Canada so I can have a degree, my first bachelor degree. So the opportunity came, and when I talked to my sponsor, saying, well, I will be returning to my country, I will be back to Haiti, but later, because I have this opportunity to go to Canada and to get a bachelor degree. He was not happy about it, and he said I should return to Haiti right after Jamaica. Mm-hmm. And his reason why was twofold. He had 2 reasons why he did not want me to go to Canada. And number one, he said I did not need more education to do what he believed I should do in Haiti. So with my 3 years of education at Bible college, to him that would be enough, because a lot of people are pastors in Haiti only because they can read and write. So if I have 3 years of biblical training, that would be enough, according to him. The second reason that he had was that 99.99% of young Haitian people who came to North America, they do not go back to their country. They do not go back to Haiti. So I think it was 2 valid reasons. Mm-hmm. And the facts are there, that once people come to the States, when they come to Canada, it is almost certain that they will not go back to Haiti. And everybody knows what is going on in Haiti. Life in Haiti is like walking in the desert, and you don't know, you don't have any future, and things are hard. There is no electricity, there is no paved roads, and there is no running water, and there is no employment. The employment rate is like 75%. People are not employed, and everything that is going on in Haiti. So everybody is trying to escape. There is an escape mentality in Haiti, and everybody want to escape. And my sponsor, who was a missionary from America, and he knows very well the context, the situation, and he said, "Well, I'm trying to escape because if I would go to Canada at that time, and I was pretty much a young man, and I had no obligations in Haiti and nothing, so I have all the reasons not to go back to Haiti. But I had my word with the Lord, and I knew what God told me, and I had the firm conviction that God wanted me to go back to my country to serve Him there, but He could not really see this because the facts are there to prove me wrong, according to Him. And then I said, well, I believe the same God who talked to me the same God who said to me He was going to send me to school and who asked me to go back to my country, I believe the same God said I need more education. And then I said that I'll apply for the scholarship. It was a full tuition scholarship. But I needed some money for room and board for the dormitory.
There was when they gave you the scholarship, you said, what were they looking for? Did you say they were looking for the out of that school?
Yes, they're looking for the best student,
The best
the brightest student. So
you were at the top of your class.
Yes,
Okay.
it was a small school, and then Claudia was my challenge.
Okay.
And then our dating started by, okay, who's going to be the top of the class? So that she was my challenge, and then so that was it. And they would take like 2 or 3 students, and the best top student, and I was one of them. And and I applied, they accepted me, and they gave me a full tuition scholarship. And now I needed room and board to go, about $2,500 at that time. And my sponsor said, well, I'm not going to sponsor you to Canada, so I'm going to, you cannot count on me. And I said, okay, it's fine. If God wanted me to go, He will provide another way. That was a test for me, whether I would listen to God or I would listen to my sponsor. It was a real test because here I was, a very poor boy who got someone who is helping, and he promised to do some work in Haiti. Maybe you're going to start a church, we're going to do something. And now I am facing him, whether I should listen to him or I should listen to God's direction in my life. And I said, well, you don't have to worry. If God doesn't want me to go, I will never be able to go, because if I have to go, God would have to provide the funds that I need to go. And then I said, but if it's God's will, He will provide for me to go, and I would rather follow God's will instead of listening to what He has to say. So mysteriously, God provided for me, and I'll let you know, and everyone who is listening to this, or to know how God provided. And God spoke with my big brother. He's now with the Lord, and God spoke with him in a dream and said to him, go to this specific person and give him a name. That wasn't a dream. It gives my brother a name of the person, and said to that person, do for Guenson what I did for you when you had to go to school. And my brother was very hesitant about it, but he said, hey, I'm just going to tell the guy what God told me to tell him. And then my brother found the phone number for the friend and called him and set an appointment to talk to him and tell him exactly what the message that he received for that guy. And the guy said, yes. I remember when I had to go to school, how the Lord opened door for me, and he gave me the money that I needed to go to Canada. So then I went to Canada, and it was done deal because God provided in mysterious way. So I was off to go to Canada. I was
Did he
going.
provide you with a jacket too? Because I think the climate must have
Well,
been
he would provided me with more than one jacket.
Yeah,
I needed everything, leggings and stuff like that, because that the only thing I really did not enjoy was the weather. It was really very cold, and but God, the Lord, yeah, I had jackets. I had all kind of. I was like an Eskimo guy all the time, and my room, nobody could come into my room. No other student did not want to come into my room because we were always hot in my room, and it was a wonderful time. So after I spent my time in Canada and I completed my studies, now that was a challenge, facing me, and the big temptation to go back to Haiti, where things are very hard, things are very difficult, and I'm in a very wealthy country, beautiful, and it was a big temptation for me. But I always remembered what God told me, and I was going to do exactly what the Lord told me to do. So after school, I pack up everything. They offered me a position at the school in Canada, so I would be like an intermediary kind of role to the student in the Caribbean, to reach out to them so they can come to the school. I said, no, sorry, I'm not staying. But when I was traveling to my country, they gave me a one entry visa to the States, to this country. And when I was leaving, the immigration officer told me, do you know if you go to Haiti, you will not be able to come back to the States unless you apply for another visa in your country. Do you understand this? This is what the guy was telling me. I said, yes, I understand. Because the visa I have was just one entry. You can enter the country one time. And I was in Canada. It was easier for me to get a visa because I was a student. And I was legal in Canada, so it was easy. But in Haiti, I have like 10% chance to get a U.S. visa because I had nothing to show for it. To have a U.S. visa in Haiti, you need to have a house, you need to have a good job, you need to have a car, you need to have something to prove that you have an interest, you have reason to return to your country. But I had none of this. And the guy was telling me, and the immigration guy was telling me, do you understand that if you go to Haiti or when you go to Haiti to come back to the state, you need to apply for another visa? I said, yes, I did. I said, yes, I understood. He said, all right. So I came to the state and met with my friends, and I had a border here. And then it was time for me to go back to Haiti. And I bought one-way tickets to go to Haiti with absolutely nothing. I did not have a job waiting for me. I did not have anything in Haiti waiting for me. But the only thing I had was the Word of God and the words that the Lord told me to go back. And I took an airplane and went back. And when I got to immigration in Haiti, the guy looked at me and looked at my passport. And he says there is no other way I would be able to come back to the U.S. And he asked me, are you being deported? I said, no, I'm not being deported. I am here willfully with no hope and no, I don't know. I have no chance to go back.
Yeah.
And that was really, I started to see the how critical the thing was, because all those immigration people are just asking me all those kind of things, and they think that I was crazy.
It doesn't make sense to them.
It doesn't make sense
You're,
to them.
you're coming back. You don't have to come back. You have your degree at this point.
Yes.
And they're like, okay, our only rational conclusion is that you're being deported because that's the only way this makes sense.
Yes, because the only thing I had to with me was a degree or no job, and also I wasn't married. I had no children and nothing to tie me to Haiti, and the risk of not being able to come back was so high. The chance was so slim, and people think that I was crazy. So my friends thought that I was crazy. Some my relatives thought I was crazy. I had no ambition for life. Nobody went to North America and just went back.
What year is this?
That was on 2006.
So that's after the earthquake?
No.
Okay.
That was
Was that-
before the earthquake was in 2010.
Okay.
So that was in 2006, and yeah. So I went back home, and the only thing I had was a laptop because I still felt that I needed to do to continue with my education, and I applied for a master's degree in divinity and theology at a school here in Jackson, Mississippi. But I was doing it on part of it online, and the only thing I had was a laptop. And when I settled down and realized that, well, I want to do a master's degree, I'm in Haiti and there is no electricity, there is no internet available to me, and the only thing I had was a laptop computer. So I had to go to a cyber cafe and to plug in my computer and to buy hours to send my work and so on and so forth. But that was it. That was it. By the time that I spent in North America, and my friend was saying, the only thing you can show that you were in the States and been to Canada was a laptop computer. That was it. But it was getting to get very difficult for me when one day I went out and left my laptop because I was living with a bunch of guys. We were friends, living in the same room, same house.
Well, can you explain what that was like? The room in the house you had returned to. What was the living conditions there?
Well, it was actually a room of one of our friends, and in that room, we all together, and we all friends together. We sleep together, and in this room because we are very communal, and we share everything and little private space. That's how we live, and this is how we survive in Haiti because you help me today and I help you tomorrow, and we share little we have, and that help us to cope with the hard life. So that's the way it is, and that was the way I was living before I left for Canada. And when I came back, nothing changed. So while I was there in this little room there, I left my laptop. It was on a chair, and then when I came back, I find out someone sat down on the laptop and broke it. Everything was useless. And at that time, I was really, really flustered. I was really heartbroken, and I was mad at God, and I was crying, and I said what I was going to do, because my only hope was that laptop to keep me on that program. I could not get electricity. I could not get internet. No, I do not have a laptop. So I went to a cyber cafe and paid for an hour and email my professor and said, I'm done. It's finished because I have no way I can continue the program. Because now I don't have a laptop. I don't have a computer. And he said, okay, let me share this to the class and see what we can do. And he shared it to the class. And in his reply, he said, a student agrees to buy you a laptop. And that was, again, a student from our cohort. He was a pastor in the church here in the U.S., and then he agreed to give us, to donate a laptop to me. And now the question is how I was going to get that laptop from the U.S. to the Haiti was a big problem because I did not have a mailing address. I did not have like a USPS or UPS system to come or FedEx or anything. So how I was going to get that laptop was a big question. And then it was then my friend said, oh, I know a missionary who worked at a school in Haiti that is called Emmaus Bible College. So he was a missionary. He was the president, and his name was Bill Cooper. And he said, I'm going to send the laptop to Bill Cooper, and you will go to the school and get the laptop. And then I was so happy about that. And when Dr. Cooper came with the laptop, I went to his office to collect the laptop. And he said, okay, can I talk to you? I said, yes, you can talk to me. And he said, okay, what about I give you a room to stay? I give you electricity. I give you internet, and you work for us while you're doing your studies.
Amazing.
I did not find any word to say and see how God worked. His way is really different from our way. And because of that laptop that was broken, that's what God used to send me to Emmaus Bible College then. And since then, 2006, I stay at Emmaus and work as a translator for a visiting professor. And I started to teach, and I did anything they asked me to do. Until now, it's been 2 years now. I have been appointed the first and only national to be the president of Emmaus University. So this is a school that was established by the One Mission Society, and it has been over 60 years. And missionaries are the ones who always run the school. But in 2020, after some very turbulent, violent things that are happening in Port-au-Prince, in Haiti, all the missionaries had to leave, and plus COVID-19 came, so it was time to change the leadership and to hand over the school, the university, to Haitian, and I was the one that was appointed to be Emmaus president. This is what God can do. God has been my Jehovah Jireh, and He has led me all the way to where I am right now. So
But in those 50 to 60 years, you're the first national to run the college then.
yes, and right now nobody would ever imagine that Emmaus would be able to continue to exist without the presence, I would say the physical presence of our friends, our dear friends, and missionaries from North America and Canada. We have some English people, missionaries to us. So, but it's been 2 years now since we are all Haitians, and the Lord has been doing wonderful, amazing thing with the college. And we are in a season where we grow so much. Our campus was built to accommodate 120 or so students, and we are 230 now. And Emmaus is like a oasis in the middle of the desert. And this is a place of hope, a place of peace, and all the chaos that people are hearing happening in Haiti, and mostly in Port-au-Prince. But in Cap Haitian, where we live, where Emmaus is, it is quiet, it is peaceful, and this is the hope. This is a gift. Even for the government of the country, when they came and visit us, I said, this is a gift to the country. And we're there to influence people. We're there to influence the younger generation. We're there to make a difference. A lot of people have been sending a lot of helps. A lot of money have been dumping to Haiti, but nothing changes. Because the help, does not really help.
Right.
And to really help the Haitian people, you need to help them to think and change their mindset. And you do that through education, proper education based from a biblical standpoint. And I have been there, my wife and myself. Our biggest fight is to change how people think, how people see themselves, because a lot of Haitian thinks that they were helpless, they are hopeless, and even if you send a lot of money to them, if they do not think that they're worth something, they have values, and sometimes the gifts that the donations are there to say you are not intelligent, you are not. Sometimes this is what they give there. So you don't know what to do. Let me come and do everything for you. And that has been the model of help that people have been receiving, and we see a lot of people are dependent. There is an unhealthy dependency that we need to change, that we really want to change. And if this is not changed, we will continue. You will continue to help people. You will continue to send money, and it won't do absolutely nothing for the people unless those people have a sense of dignity, a sense of worth, a sense of they can do something, they can contribute something, they have values. That would be this is our strategy, this is our fight, this is our calling, this is our battle in Haiti, to elevate, to have people to see themselves as people who were created in God's image, who are worth, who can do something. There are a lot of things that we cannot do, but there are a lot of things that we can do, and we have some resources in Haiti so we can build on that. It will be very difficult for Haiti to be transformed. And this is our calling. And then at Emmaus right now, we offer degrees in education, degree in administration and leadership, and in theology. And we have people in our leadership and education that are very high society. But now those are the influencers. We began to see people with influence in the society coming our way, and we are very intentional how we impact those people so they can impact others in a way that is biblically sound, to be like Christ, as our mission is to equip Christ-like leader for the redemption of Haiti.
So you have bankers, politicians, leaders, local
Yes,
leaders,
we have
entrepreneurs coming to the college to take some of these leadership classes.
Yes, to take leadership class, to take the administration class. So we have lawyers, we have bankers, we have school principals, we have bank directors, we have, and then people who have the hospital, who are director of a hospital. A lot of them come for leadership because we offer quality education. Our faculty are top-notch. People in the States, they teach online via Zoom and so on. So we offer quality education at a very affordable cost. So we give the Haitian people the best that is available in the market, even in the academic world.
So to that point, here in the States, there's a lot of Bible colleges, Bible camps, seminaries. And so Emmaus started out a Bible college.
Yes.
And then it's evolved over the years to be a university. And what?
Seminary and university, and started at the vocational Bible college and then seminary, and now we are a university. And why we are a university right now? The only reason is that we need to prepare people at every level.
University status.
Yes.
And so in the past, you just listed off the different degrees and classes that you'd offer. So speaking of Emmaus, well, one thing I wanted to ask was about your wife, Claudia, Dr. Claudia, because you're saying her background. What's her background? What's
It's
her
in
degree
business.
Okay, in business. So she has her
She has a doctorate in leadership,
leadership, and she has her MBA.
an MBA.
An MBA, yeah. And so I know a lot of the people that you've mentioned that have been pouring a lot of resources into Haiti, money into Haiti, recognize the need to do something different. Because as you say,
Yes.
things haven't changed. And so what's the vision, the practical vision for Emmaus moving forward, say in the next 10 years?
Well, the practical, what we really want to see happen is when people can use the knowledge and to create opportunity for themselves to be self-sustainable. But also there is a big brain drain that we seeing happening in Haiti. Most of the most intelligent young people, we are very young generation. The majority of the Haitian population is under 24 years old. I mean, we are about 12 million people, and the majority of that are under 24 years old. So, but we have a lot of young people that are fleeing the country to go to the Dominican Republic to get their education. But we want Emmaus to be an alternative to this, so they can get a good engineering faculty or degree, get a good medical degree right there in Haiti. Why can't we have this? We can have it, and then all of our intelligent people would have a reason to stay in the country because they'll get proper education and they can even employ anywhere with their degree. This is our 10-year vision.
So that's a significant change. Going from where you're at now, where you're offering a divinity degree, an education degree, a degree in leadership.
And we
then,
started a degree in business and
you've
business and entrepreneurship.
Already started the degree in business and entrepreneurship. So where you want a university that will compete with the university in the Dominican Republic.
That's exactly what we're thinking, and it's huge. It's big and it's huge. And looking at it, a lot of people think that we're crazy, but it's okay. A lot of people thought that I was crazy when I was going back to Haiti with no hope that I would be able to come back to the U.S. But I went back to Haiti, and I've been to the U.S., I've been to Canada, I've been to South Korea, I've been to Thailand, I've been to Peru, I've been to all over the place right now. But people thought I was crazy. It's okay for people to think that you're crazy because they don't see what you're seeing, what God has put in your in our mind. But I see no reason we cannot provide the country with the best that is available. And I thank God for people like you, Dale, and people, other friends that we have who can see the value of elevating life in Haiti, of elevating dignity. Have people to have the dignity. They know that they can accomplish something. And I think this is the change that we so hoping to see happen. Will not happen if we do not do something at an educational level to educate the people, to know the resources, to help them to think and use what they have to transform their lives and transform the country. Nobody else would be able to come and do the transformation for us. Asian, we will have to do it, and God will have to use us to do it.
Yeah, to that point, could you speak to the significance of you being a national running the university, the difference, the impact that makes on the students?
Well, I can tell you, now people feel like they belong to what we're doing. It's like it has always been considered like, okay, what is being done. It was when the missionary were present, and maybe the missionary were not thinking about it that way. But for Haitians, whenever there is a missionary, there is a white people.
Right.
They think that you can do everything.
So if I go over there and I try to impart vision
Yes.
to the people of Haiti, maybe that would fall on deaf ears, where they would say, "Well, yeah, that's easy for you to say."
Yes. One thing they would say, you would come and think that they cannot contribute to anything. So when you ask them to do something, they would. The idea is like your perception about them. They are not intelligent. They're not capable of anything, so they are not motivated. They will find way to take your money, but they will not feel part of it. They will not take ownership of it. And this is a very important thing. And right now, when people see it's me and a bunch of other guys, they know where I come from. They know my story. And when they see now things are going well, they start to put their trust in God more, because they know that I don't have the background for it. I don't have the money. I don't have the contact. I don't have the resources. So if we're going to accomplish all these things, only God would enable us to accomplish all of these things. And they take the work at heart, and I think it sends a strong message. And a lot of people were watching me. There was a lot of mixed feelings. Some people said, he's going to fail. Emmaus going to go down, because we Haitian, we cannot do anything good. Any good things come from America. You have to have a missionary. He's going to fail. But no, when they see what is being done right now, we had the biggest graduation class in our history. 41 students were graduated in May. And the campus is still beautiful. We're still wanting, and everybody start to say, we can do something. We can accomplish something. Haitian can do something. Haitian at least can maintain something. Because this is a beautiful place on a very desolate land, and it's beautiful, and it's a very beautiful testimony of what God can do, even in the midst of chaos. So, but now people start to have confidence in themselves. And this is very key. This is a very important thing. They start to have confidence in themselves. They start to they feel proud of one of them. I am one of them doing this. God is doing this through me, but I have no difference with their story. This is the same story. This is the same struggle they have been through, but they have been very proud to see what we are accomplishing. And now what that will do, we will have more people participating. And in the next year, the years to follow, we will have them contribute.
Yeah. And could you tell the story about the church building that you
Yes.
built? And if you could preface that with how much the average Haitian makes on a daily rate.
So I'm also a pastor of a church. My wife and I, we went to Haiti in 2010 after the earthquake, and we felt like, well, we were in a church, we were part of a church, but we felt like we need a different kind of church. that would, not just speak to the spiritual need, but also to the self-image. Sorry, to the self-image of the people. And we ourselves, we are pioneer entrepreneurs. We went down with a little money we had. We started a business, and the business started the church. We planted the church out of the business that my wife and I we started. So it works. We can do things. So this church now is full of young people. A lot of high school. They're excited about it. My wife is very youthful, young lady, and she's very passionate about young people, and we have a bunch of young people. We're excited. It was a very exciting project, and we started the church in 2012, and we rented the place, a nice place, the nicest place in the community, the only place in the community, only public place with air conditioning in the entire community. If I not say not town, but we have a few places in town with hotels, stuff like that, but the only public place, an auditorium with air conditioning. So we were very excited, but we were young, very young people, a lot of young people, and the minimum wage right now, I would say, is like $5 a day. That's what, if you can get a job. So we get like $5 a day. That's the minimum wage typically, and even those who work in the bank, and those are the things that good job. If you have $5 a day, you have a good job in Haiti. So we said, well, after 3 years, we said we need to trust God to bless us with money so we can buy a piece of land, so we can have our own permanent place. And we said we are going to pray for $75,000, and a lot of people make fun of us. It was, where are you going to get that money, and how on earth are you going to get that money? Because we never had any sending church, anything. But we started to pray. We said, hey, we're going to pray, and we're going to do whatever we can do, and then to raise that fund. We get the young people excited, and we put a few campaigns and fundraising, and three years later, we were able to buy a piece of property for $58,000 $58,000. And but the most interesting thing about it, when we look at the book, 75% of the money came from Haiti.
Wow, that's amazing. So 75% of the funds
75%, and then people were so shocked.
Yeah. But that's consistent with the message you're trying to push here is, hey, we could use some help. But we need to give the people of Haiti back their dignity.
Yes.
And
I can tell you, Dale, these folks, they just say, this is us. This is us. This is our work. We work for it. We sweat for it. And there's a sense of dignity when people said, hey, guys, you did it. Look at what we've done with God's help. Well, we have some friends who share, they heard about the project and they participate, but 75% of the funds for us to have our property now, we have a temporary building, and then the land. It is a very amazing story. And then people now start to think we are not really helpless. We can do something. We can contribute. We may not be able to do a whole lot, but at least we can do something.
And that can grow.
Yes.
And so Emmaus University, the vision is to transform the way
people are thinking, the way people see themselves, and the resources that people have to use them and to make something for themselves, out of themselves. So, yeah, this is what we're about at Emmaus, and we are an institution. We've been established for over 50 years. So, yeah, it's a wonderful thing, great thing being going on.
So, Dr. Claudia, your wife, I know she just finished a book. They're in it. So she just finished a book, And the book, could you tell us just a little bit about the book and what the premise of the book is?
Well, the book is Claudia is asking whether Haiti is a black sheep, like how perception of donors, how Haitians perceive donation and donors, and what are
And
the
donors, okay.
what are donors, what are the donors' perception of Haitian.
Right.
So she is researching how that affect or contribute to how aid has failed in Haiti, because I mean, if you look after the earthquake, how much money you sent to Haiti and nothing happened. So it's a failure. I mean, it's a complete failure because there's no change. Nothing changes, and if not worse, if things are not worse, because money went into the hand of wrong people, and as a result, right now we have a lot of gang activity in Port-au-Prince. And where do these guys get the money to buy all those guns and the bullets and everything like that? And a lot of those money are money that were sent for donations. The money went into the wrong hand, and because the way this thing has never been profitable. So Claudia was the key of this book is like, what should we do about it? How can we help in a different way in Haiti? And she has some very good insight. People who want to donate, how to go about it, how to do it. So this book is coming out maybe in the next month and a half. It's still in the print, and a lot of friends are waiting to read it and have a different approach. We need to have a different approach to giving in Haiti, and we need to give where there is an effort to help people change the mindset of the people, to educate people. So I think this is what we need right now in Haiti, and this is what Emmaus is doing. And we are very strategic at what we're doing to influence the next generation of Haitians.
Well, that's interesting, because Claudia, coming from Jamaica, she's from the Caribbean, but she's coming and looking with outside eyes on the situation and bringing that perspective. I know there was a book written by a lady from Kenya called Dead Aid. Remember that? It sounds similar, where she was speaking to the aid that was coming into Africa and how it was doing more harm than good. And the book was pretty impactful. So looking forward to actually reading that. Guenson, could you give us a short or a brief lesson on the history of Haiti, and in particular, how did Haiti end up impoverished? What's the source of that?
Well, there are many layers, many ways we can go with that question. But the most important, the most obvious thing is Haiti is the first black republic to end slavery, the first successful battle against slavery, against the French. And we took our independence in 1803. That was at the prime of slavery. And I know you guys in the state, you have a Declaration of Independence in 1776, but you did not abolish slavery. There was still a lot of slavery going on. You were independent maybe from England, but there was a lot of slavery here. But in Haiti, in 1804, there was no slavery in Haiti. And also you have to remember that Haiti is an island with two countries, Haiti and the Dominican Republic. But what happened when Haiti got its independence from France, we defeated the great army of the great General Napoleon Bonaparte. And Haiti was a very bad example for the rest of the colonies. And like Jamaica, Dominican Republic, and even here in Louisiana, we had a lot of slaves. That was what the economy was based upon. So what French did, What France did was with England, the United States, and all other countries, they just cut all ties. There's no trade. The World Bank closed its door to Haiti. So imagine the devastation we after the war, and no country recognized Haiti as an independent country. They said Haiti was rebellious. Haiti was a bad example. So they want to show other people, other country, other slaves who want to get independence, this is how you're going to turn out if you follow Haiti. Nobody will cooperate with you. Nobody will recognize you. You are left alone to struggle and to die. So that is where generally our poverty started, because we all need help from each other. I mean, you can't survive alone. And we were ravaged by the war, aftermath of the war, and then also people were, yesterday they were slaves, and today they are emperors, and they know not much about economy, how to build a country, and without help, without people coming to help you with your infrastructure, it has started from there. And also, France never got over the fact that they were defeated, and we had embargo on Haiti, and also in the 18, I don't remember exactly the date, France said to recognize Haiti as an independent country. Haiti has had to pay a huge amount of money as a debt for independence. It was doing it or die alone. So we borrowed a lot of money to pay the French, and now to get those money back, we had to give our sugar, our coffee. This is how they would pay the repos of everything that we had. So it was a system. The system was established to stifle the country, and until today we are still struggling. And the same. And for a reason we have never seen in a very good eyes, in so many from so many people, we are still like a bad example, and still today we feel like one of our biggest problem is reputation. And the picture that has always been painted of Haiti is a gloom one. We have beautiful beaches, more than many other countries, and we have more crime than Jamaica. We don't have more crime than Jamaica.
Okay.
Than El Salvador. We compare to what is happening in other countries, and even here, some of the town here. Right now, I mean, Haiti right now is violent, but we have never been known to be so violent with people and murder and homicide. This has not been our story. People would demonstrate on the street and when they're upset, but compared to so many other countries where violence, where crimes are high, Haiti has never been. But we always have the dark pictures and the good things that happen in Haiti, like COVID. We never suffered from COVID, but nobody say anything about it because that's good news. It's something coming good about Haiti. We have less than we don't even have 100 people died with COVID in Haiti. At one point, they were paying people to say, okay, if you have someone who died, they will pay you, say he died from COVID. But no, we never wear any mask for anything. It never affected us. But this has not been the headline for any major news outlet. We have beautiful beaches, we have beautiful mountain, and in Cap Haitian, we are peaceful. There is no kidnapping going on there. Everything that is happening in Port-au-Prince, but it's the whole country that people when they and the big news media, but it's not all true. You
Sure.
cannot really trust the mainstream media because they have their own agenda, they have their own purpose. So yeah, that's the fact, that's the reality. And we need to change the image. I mean, if we do not change the image of Haiti, we will always remain poor. And another things that really keep us as very poor, unfortunately, are the what we call the NGOs, the non-governmental organization. We are known to be the capital of the NGOs. So we have more NGOs than any other country in the Caribbean. What do NGOs do? What do they do? To me, to my wife, Claudia, they are managing poverty. They are not alleviating poverty. NGOs are there because we have problems. People are hungry. People need food. People need to go to school. So we have people with organization to send children to school to help. It can be good, but also it's bad because for those NGOs to continue, they need to have these problems in Haiti. I really want to understand. I really want you to understand, and everybody listening to this to understand what I'm saying here. We need, for instance, we need food for the poor because we have poor. We have a lot of poor people. Mm-hmm. But once people can work, they can provide for themselves. We will not need. This is an example, food for the poor, again. So once people can get job, mm-hmm. they can work, they can have small business. A lot of these NGOs will not have any reason to be in the country. So it's one or two things. It is either they create jobs so people can be self-sustainable, or they create a system where we will always need them. So I think the latter is the reality. So there should be a situation where you say, hey, we still need those people, but they don't really do anything really to help to say, okay, we don't need you anymore. So they're managing the system, they're managing poverty, but they're not alleviating poverty. And this is why we have so many NGOs, so many of them. And when you give, for instance, when they raise money, like the Red Cross in Haiti raise money to help, but 60%, 70% goes into administration. So what is administration? They have to pay people. They have contractors coming from the States, and then all the money just went back to those people. Mm-hmm. That's the system that is being created, and nothing is done, and the problem is still there. We still need to raise more funds to resolve the problem, to resolve the issue. So they're managing the situation. But then, and to manage, you always need to have something to manage. If you are managing poverty, there should always be poverty to manage. Mm-hmm. So this is really really difficult. And I can tell you, Claudia and myself, we started this business, and it's been 5 years. We spent 5 years doing the business. What did we do? We teach English. And NGO came. They came with people, English people, that start giving English for free. Mm. And those people who came as NGO, they raise funds, people are paying them to stay in Haiti and teach English. Everybody who wants English, come to this NGO and you pay nothing. What does that do? Claudia, myself and Claudia, we're out of business. Right. Because it's free. And then also it's being taught by people from North America, and then it's free. And we have no business. And people were paying, it is not because that they were not paying, but who wouldn't take it for nothing? I mean, it's free.
Right.
Why do we come to you? And then now we have to do something else. We have to find something else to do. That's the way it is.
Yeah, I've heard similar stories of well-meaning people going in and passing out rice,
Yeah.
only to put the guy over here, the vendor
Out
that's
of
selling
business.
rice, out of business. And so then you perpetuate the problem.
Yes, indeed.
But Emmaus is the vision to change the mindsets. And, you know, I was thinking when you were talking about our country gaining its independence, we needed outside help. You know,
Yes.
the United States needed outside help. And then Haiti was isolated. Basically, these people who were advocates for slavery were saying the worst thing that could happen is for these ex-slaves that have been liberated, the worst thing would be for them to prosper.
Yeah.
But now we're looking at Emmaus, and like any other university, universities need financial support. And so to achieve your very large goal, you know, to have a university that's going to be an alternative to the university in the Dominican Republic, to keep the students, the brightest in Haiti, to actually bring real solutions to the country of Haiti. What do you need? What do you need as far as infrastructure? Obviously, the campus needs to grow. What are you
Yes.
looking at in your 10-year
Well,
plan?
right now everything is too small. We need to build dormitories. We need to build more classrooms. We have a library, dining hall, everything, chapels. Everything is too small. And remember, I said Haiti, Emmaus is like a oasis in the desert in Haiti. And when people know there is a place where they can build, I mean, they can have hope, and they can have a future that can help them to be something, someone in the society. Everybody wants to come to that place. So right now, this is where our partnership comes in. And we have something going on already, but it is growing at a rate that we will need help. And the buildings that we need to build for the next 5 years or so, we need to be able to accommodate the growth that we are seeing. And I really refuse to say, we can't take you, we can't accommodate you, sorry, there is no space for you. This is against our vision, it's against our mission. Our mission is to transform is to prepare the next generation to take control over Haiti. So those young people that are coming our way, we need to provide for them. We need to have an infrastructure, provide for them, and they deserve to get some quality education in a peaceful environment, to study in a peaceful environment. So this is where now we are asking for our friends, our good people who really want to donate in a way that will make a difference, where you can be accountable. You know what your money is accomplishing. We are very accountable. We are a 501c3 organization in the States. We are accredited to financial entity here in the U.S. who we should report to for every dollars that we receive as donation. We are well established. We are honest. We have a high level of integrity in what we do. We are an open book. We are making, I mean, if we want to be influential, people who come to our school, they need to see it. And they are seeing it. They see, you guys, you are different. You are different. And our hope is what we're doing at Emmaus, it will extend. It will extend to the Chamber of Commerce. It will extend to the Ministry of Health. It will extend to everywhere. The model that we are that we are teaching in Haiti, with honesty, with hard working, and being diligent, and so on and so forth. This is what we're doing, and we want to impact every single life in Haiti. So this is why we can do a lot of things, but there's a lot of things also we cannot do on our own. So we're looking for partners, we're looking for people, for church, for organization, for foundations who really want to see change, sustainable change, real change happen in Haiti, to invest in an institution like Emmaus. So we invite people to come. You can come to Cap Haitian. You can come any day. We have straight flight, direct flight from Fort Lauderdale to Cap Haitian. You don't have to go to Port-au-Prince, where all the crazy things is happening, and it's peaceful there. There's no kidnapping in Cap Haitian. You can just go and check it out. You will see all the kidnappings are going on in Port-au-Prince. But as for us, we have every day is business every day, and it's peaceful and it's secure and it's safe to come and visit with us. If you want to check us out before you invest, because I know a lot of people have been investing and they don't know where the money come from. They don't know what happened to the money. So we open our campus, we open our books, we open our account and everything. So because we are serious, we are there for change to happen. And on my lifetime, I really need to see things begin to be different. And this is my prayer. And I know that people may think that I'm crazy. It's okay. It's fine that for people to think that I'm crazy. And I believe that God is working in Haiti, and something good is going to happen in Haiti. And I'm glad I'm there to witness it. And Emmaus is one of the places where God is going to do a great thing for our country, and I'm very proud of it. And what I have seen what God has done, and I know what He can do, and He owns everything. So we have a big plan, big project. Actually, our plan is to the infrastructure that we want to build will cost us no less than $5 million. That is how my dream. Some people still think that I'm crazy, because they said when I had a church for 3 years in Haiti, people were not working. We have 5 people who had a job when I said we need $75,000 US, and people thought I was crazy. And my only regret was that I did not ask for 150,000. That is the only regret I had. So this is why I had this firm come down to Haiti and I said, I need this, I need that, I need this, I need that. And at the end, he said, okay, if you really need this in 5 years, you need $5 million, at least $5 million. I said, let's go for it. And then say, God, we need $5 million. I know God has people. Mm-hmm. God has people. Yeah. This is a change. This is a change for them. I said, so I trust God. God is going to do it. It's bigger than me. It's bigger than you. It's bigger than everybody. But it's not bigger than God. So I have my faith in God. So we will have that university, which that will have an impact, a serious impact in the lives of Haiti, and mark it down in 10 years. Mm-hmm. We have to have an Emmaus graduate at most of the important level in the society to make decisions according to what we teach them at Emmaus. And the change we so hope for will at last come to Haiti.
Well, I look at where you've come from, and what you're doing. Your story is compelling, the path that you've traveled. And because of that, I say I don't think you're crazy.
Thank you.
I'm looking forward to watching it over the next 10 years, and seeing what happens. And I agree with you. There's Christian entrepreneurs out there who want to believe in and want to be passionate about what they're giving to. So hopefully this story delivers something to them, and thank you for talking to us today. Is there anything else that we should? Good.
I'll just schedule a part 2.
Okay. Yeah, we do want to schedule a part 2. Actually, Claudia will be here on the 8th, I think. It's going to be a tight schedule, but Claudia will be here
Yeah, this was
for the
an
wedding.
hour and 15 minutes.
Oh, was it?
Just killed.
Okay.
Really good.
That was it too
Okay.
long?
No, it was perfect.
Okay. Okay. Good.
Yeah.
I almost brought up and asked you to speak to the voodoo in Haiti.
We can-
Lean in a little bit.
Okay, I almost asked you to speak to the voodoo, and the reason I didn't was because the spirit of this talk was changing the perception of Haiti. But many people, their minds go to that. They think, oh, Haiti and voodoo, and and in particular in the Christian church, and so. And I know it's part of the history, part of the story, you know, during the revolution.
We can still do it. I don't know if you want to.
Well, do you want to take
part two?
Want to take 5 minutes?
Yeah, let's take
Yeah.
5 minutes and come back and talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. Just go ahead. And so one of the things we were just talking about was how unfair it was for the French to demand that you pay, you know, that the Haitians pay for their freedom. But one thing you said, I thought that should be noted, is that there are advocates in France that are
Yes.
saying, hey, this was unfair. We should maybe pay money back to Haiti or whatever,
Yes.
however they're trying to spearhead that cause. But I wanted to switch gears and just ask you about the history of voodoo in Haiti, just because I think a lot of people, when they think about Haiti, in particular Christians, it's almost synonymous with voodoo.
Well, this is supposed to be another podcast in itself.
Okay.
And but I can give you what voodoo is actually is a mixture of a range of religion. We have aspects of Hinduism, Islam, and Roman Catholicism, and it's an amalgam of belief. But how it started, the Haitian one has a unique flavor to it, because when they brought the slaves from Africa, from different tribes, everybody came with their own belief system. They came with their own understanding, their own spiritual life, and they worship ancestors. So, like, for instance, every family in Haiti would say they have a spirit that adopt this family. Now, when they came to Haiti, and part of the trade was that every slave needed to be baptized, and they had to be Catholics, Roman Catholics. But the slave did not have any choice. But what they did, they attributed every image is like St. Paul, St. Peter, St. Joseph. Now, instead of thinking about those praying in front of the statues, they attributed a spirit to each of these different names in the Roman Catholic. So when you think that they're praying to St. Peter, but they have a spirit, they're attached to this, and that spirit would adopt that state name and stuff like that. But well, all of that is to say, a lot of people think it's just superstition. It's not real. Voodoo, and I can tell you it's real. We've seen it. A lot of people struggling with it in church. They are demon possessed, and we had crusade the other day in our church, and young ladies and young men that start acting very weird and calling and crying, and you have to be strong to hold them. We have seen them. Satan is very spectacular in Haiti. And we have people who are possessed by evil spirit. They would climb up trees, fast, and dance in fire, and just break glasses and eat glasses and all sort of things in Haiti. It's kind of visible and scary, and this is why voodoo is a religion of fear, the enemy, Satan, always try to do things to make people afraid. And then it's really real. It's really real and it's really apparent. And people, we've seen it. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. And people cast spell into other people, make people sick, and all kind of things. So now, us as church, and a lot of missionaries, that when they went to Haiti, they did not really understand what's going on, or they just ignore it. This is like superstition. It's just people thinking, imagination and stuff like that. But I can tell you it's real. Now, church now in Haiti, you can't have church without a demonstration of power. So your power as a Christian, your power needs to be stronger than that of the voodoo priest. But the voodoo priest, they know that we have a stronger power. But when somebody is possessed in your church, you should be able to pray and people witness that what is in you is stronger than what is the evil spirit. So this is in a nutshell what's going on, and this voodoo mindset, this voodoo belief system, it's hard to get rid of. And even in the church, if you do not understand, you will see people in the church, but when they're sick, they tend to go back to their own old practices. So we need a lot of discipling to be going on. And this is what we put a lot of emphasis on, to disciple people, because there are people who are saved, but they are still being tormented by all kind of evil spirit, all kind of spiritual warfare. And also so it keeps Haiti as well. When we talk about changing the mindset, a lot of people have a lot of potential, but they're afraid to take initiative. Some people said, I don't know what the spirit of my family would allow me to do that. And I have a debt to pay and this and that. So all of this is part of our training system, helping people to be free in their spirit from the spiritual bondage. So it's a real challenge at every level. If you want to do ministry holistically, you will have to step into a lot of things. You have to do a lot of things, a lot of layers to uncover, and so people to be free and the way they think about themselves and the spiritual warfare going on and the economic. It's a tough place to minister to. It's a tough place to live, and if you really want to do something meaningful, it will take you a lot of effort to address a lot of issues, and one of them is spiritual issues, is the effect of voodoo, because the voodoo had taught, there are a lot of things that we do in Haiti, sometimes we don't even know where we get them from, but when we look deeply, we realize those are voodoo practices, which is really deep into the culture and also into the belief system of the Haitian people.
Yeah, I didn't realize that it's affecting the people to the point where they believe, hey, I can't take this opportunity because that would somehow offend
the spirit, or offend the family, offend the ancestral spirit. Yeah, it's there. People would not tell you exactly that's the reason. You have to know, you have to understand this is the reason, because fear is a big weapon that the enemy is using, and it is not using only spiritually but economically, at every level, and emotionally. There are things that people would never do. For instance, Dale, I know you repair slides and stuff like that on the water park, and then if somebody hire another company and the work is not being done properly, and they can just say, hey, we send the company home, and they call you to do the job, would you do it?
Yes.
Yes, you would do it, yes. Haitian will never do it. They said they will not take another person's job out of fear that this, and we have people in the church. When you call them to work and the question they ask you, has anybody been doing this work before? If you definitely know yes, they'll never return.
Man, I have a plumbing project right now going on at home. I'd be in a lot of trouble
Yeah.
because I had a plumber come in that did it wrong, and so I have to have another plumber come in.
Yes.
And so
but
that I almost can't even fathom that in our economy, because we just have to get the job done, and that's how we would do it. Is you hire somebody that's
So
we
you
would say
need-
incompetent, and because you don't know, and then you have to hire somebody to fix it. But that wouldn't happen in Haiti.
no.
It definitely would stop
90%
progress.
time now. So if you see, no, even in the church, even in our church, we have a guy who just putting some tile and he's taking too long and he just was slack and we want the work to be done, and he called somebody else. He said, "No, I'm not."
And that's
going.
that's an effect of voodoo. How is
Yes, because it's an element of fear.
Okay.
So if you take my work, I'm going to harm you.
Okay.
I'm going to cast spell on you.
Okay.
And then that it's but you have to know.
That takes
to know.
discernment. So you have to discern that this is what's going on, and then as a minister, as a pastor, you have to call it
Yes.
out. Okay.
Yes, and I know it. But I mean, if you would go and you never know, said this guy doesn't want to work. You offering him work to do and he doesn't want to work. That's what you would say because you don't know the context, you don't know the history behind that. It is not that because he doesn't want to work. For him, he doesn't want to die when you give him the job that somebody else started to do. And this is why you have a lot of things in Haiti that started and that never finished.
Well, even that kind of shows me the value of having you in the position that you're
Yes.
in now, because I would draw the conclusion, what's the matter with these people? They're just lazy, you
Yeah.
know, where because you know what's behind it, you could speak to it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a lot, I mean, and it affects aid at even at every level, because sometimes there are things that Haitian will do and will not do. They will never tell you why they will do that or they will not do that. You have to know the context. You have to know the culture to find out what is the reason behind this behavior, behind this attitude. For instance, they don't need to know. Once you go to Haiti and you come from Canada or you're a white person, you are a millionaire. I can go to Haiti with you. I can take you to Haiti and pay your tickets and do everything for you and put you in a hotel and take care of you. And you may have a seminar for me after that I pay you. But you are the millionaire because you are from America and you are white. So, and the best they could try to do is take some little advantage of you. They will sell you things twice, 3 times the price, because you have the money. And also, a lot of them will think of, when you read Claudia's book, you will see a lot of this kind of things. You come, a lot of people would think that you come to exploit. You come to minimize us. You come to show us that we have no value. Some people would think also, you come to build school. You come to, so I mean, they have this preconception. Perception of you. So the minute they see you, they just have a picture in the mind of you. And yeah. So it's complex. And the most unfortunate things about it is that a lot of donors are not willing to learn.
Yeah.
They are not good students. They are not willing to learn. They are not willing to listen. And okay, we have that money, we want to do this project, and we go and do it, and then we go back, and that's another factor.
Well, it was maybe an important doorway for you to go through when when your sponsor was asking you to do something that you didn't feel you should do. And so it was an important doorway for you to go through to say no. And I think you said to me before, it's important not to worship the
Yes.
donor.
Yes.
It's not good for them. This is the way you put it. I'm just repeating your words. It's not good for them to be worshipped, and it's not good for us to do that. On the subject of perception, you got married, and I know getting married, it like brings a whole new perception on everything because now you have a spouse. But you married Claudia from Jamaica,
Yes.
and what kind of what did she bring to the table there? Like coming from Jamaica, I know it's from the Caribbean, but she's coming into Haiti. Were there points where she said, Guenson, this isn't right? Or like she was able to show you things from her perspective?
Well, you have to have a podcast with Claudia.
Okay, that would be the next podcast with Claudia.
Yes. I mean, she can tell you because she came as she's immersed, but she's still looking from a different perspective,
Right.
and she can pinpoint with tough love all areas, most of the areas that doesn't make sense
Okay.
in our culture. But now she's fully accepted. She has been tried and she's been tested, and now she's being fully accepted, and she can talk to the people as a Haitian Jamaican.
Okay.
And then now people will trust that she's not here for a week or for 2 weeks. And sometimes people think you come here for a week and then you're going back to your nice life, and now you're telling us all this kind of things. But she's been there through trials. She's been there through pandemic. She's been there through all of them that trust her right now, and she can speak freely to them. And this element of trust has been won, and now she sees a lot of things that I would not see, and that would also can help to change the mindset that we're talking about right here, which is very crucial for the change in Haiti. So hopefully you will get Claudia to come and share her own experience, own thoughts about things, but it's complex. I mean, we're living. Our belief system is animism. Animism is there is a spirit everywhere. There is a spirit in the tree. There is a spirit in the spring of water. There is a spirit in the horse. There is a spirit in the bench. There is a spirit. We're dealing with all kind of things. It's a complex, spiritually complex, and it's interwoven with every breath, every life in Haiti, and everything. And if you don't know how to navigate, if you don't understand the gesture that people are making and the insinuation of what they're saying, you have to be a good student to understand and see and watch and observe, even before you can say, hey, this is where the problem is. This is how we should tackle the problem. So every good missionary is supposed to be a good student. Everyone who wants to help. First of all, you need to know, you need to put in your mind, you need to be a good student, because you will not understand if you do not observe and listen sometimes more than talking, and see to get into the thinking, the belief system, so you can help. But thankfully, myself and Claudia, we've been through it, we know it, and this is why we can do an impact. This is why we can make a difference. And we're there. The only reason we're there in Haiti, we're not in Jamaica, we're not in Canada, we're not in the US, is to help make an impact. That's the only reason we're there. Because Haiti, I mean, we could have lived a better life anywhere else. Anywhere else we would go with our education and stuff like that, we could have make a better life anywhere. But we're there in the dust and the the mud and bad words and everything, just because we know that God has called us to make a difference. So when you come, you help us. You help us fulfill our calling, which is make a difference, do something, and we love the country, we love the people, we love what we're doing, and this is why we accept to give. We give our life, we give our education, we give everything that we can, so we can make an impact in the lives of those people. So if we influence 20 young people to believe in God, to believe in themselves and believe in their country and use the resources, I'm telling you, we have great hope that Haiti will change one day. Hopefully I'll start to see it in my lifetime, but then I have this big conviction. This is why I'm not intimidated by what I see here. It's always a pleasure for me to enjoy a nice car and there's a nice ride and nice wood, but for 2 or 3 or 4 weeks, and then I go home and try to impact the life of the people. So I'm here on this trip. I'm trying to help people hold my back and hold my hand as we doing what God is calling us to do in Haiti.
All right, very good.
Really
Good? Okay.
That was a really important addendum. I think that's
Thank you.
I think it was too. It completed it.